What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, guys, we are back with a very special video. Today we are featuring the top 10 figures of 2024 released by Hot Toys and also InArt. This is a video that I had told you guys that I wanted to make as we pretty much get to the end of the year. Before I do start, I want to wish you guys a happy New Year's Eve and Happy New Year, and definitely my best wishes for all of you guys in 2025. Hope you guys had an amazing 2024. So today, again, I wanted to pretty much do a video to kind of recap all of 2024. Last year, what I did was a tier list of pretty much all of the figures that were released by Hot Toys. I thought that the video was a little bit too long, so I thought, why not just do a top 10 of the year? I think most of you guys would probably want that more, I would say. So again, I wanted to go ahead and recap all of the figures that have been released by Hot Toys, but I do want to clarify what this video is going to be about. So again, I'm going to rank the top 10 figures, but me being a collector, I only collect Star Wars, Marvel, and DC figures, and that is what this ranking is going to be about. So obviously Hot Toys, I would say around 85 to 90% of their figures are from these three franchises. So there won't be figures like Beetlejuice, Terminator, Avatar, and Alien, and Predator, all these different movies where Hot Toys releases League of Legends, things like that. Those are figures that Hot Toys releases as well, and I want to make it clear, those are good figures, but at the same time, since I don't collect that, I just don't think I would be qualified to rank those figures since I've never received any of them. So just an FYI, this ranking will only be about DC, Marvel, and Star Wars figures that have been released to us in 2024. So I want to make sure, again, I'm clear about this. It's not figures that have been announced throughout the year. It's figures that have been released where Hot Toys has announced blogger images and the figure has actually been released to us at pretty much basically throughout this whole year, starting from January the 1st to pretty much now the end of the year. And I don't expect Hot Toys to release another figure tomorrow, but if they do, well, I guess they'll have to be part of next year's video pretty much. So let me go to the next slide. So basically, this is everything that has been released by Hot Toys for the year of 2024. I think I got every single one of them. So pretty much the way that I did it is that I went to their Instagram website. I went to the first post that they had for the year, and I think it was Zombie Strange, the first figure that we got. The last figure that was released for 2023 was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man for the movie No Way Home. The first one for this year was Strange himself, and then the last figures that we've gotten for the year was the video that I just did last, which was Venom, the two Batmans from the Flash movie, Supergirl, and also Sabine Wren from the Ahsoka series. So I think I got every single figure from Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. The only figure that I almost forgot about, and thankfully I remembered at the end before doing this video, that did not have blogger images and also was not pretty much promoted, was Kang the Conqueror from the Ant-Man movie Quantumania, and pretty much for a good reason. Obviously, we all know what happened with Jonathan Majors and how he no longer is part of the MCU because of obviously legal matters that I do not want to touch, right? But basically, with him, he wasn't promoted. They didn't announce any type of blogger images. They pretty much still released the figure just because obviously at that point they had already made it. We had already paid for it, so I think that they had no choice but to release the figure. So I think basically that's the only figure that I could notice did not have any blogger images. And then again, as you guys can see here at the bottom of the slide, we have the two DC figures that were released for the year for InArt, which was the Batman played by Robert Pattinson, and also Henry Cavill's Superman, which was the last unboxing that I did on my channel. I think that's it. That's all that they released this year, again, for DC, Star Wars, or Marvel. They have other figures like I believe figures from The Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and Dune. Again, they're not part of the 3 franchises that I collect from, so I really can't include them. But again, as you guys can see, a lot of figures that were released for this year, a lot of great ones, some good ones, some that were a little bit disappointing based on the expectations that I had for them. But I would say a pretty good year for Hot Toys. A total of 81 figures were released for the whole year, and basically my ranking, what it is going to be based on is, to me, number 1, the figure in its totality. How great is it? The quality, the materials, the pretty much the head sculpt, the accessories. I unfortunately have to also include the I guess the brand of the character. So unfortunately I don't have Trooper figures, because again, as much as I like Trooper figures, they just don't represent that legendary stand that other characters will, like Vader and Kenobi and figures like that. So again, Troopers will not be included in this top 10, but again, I did want to go ahead and just put them here, that they were released for this year specifically. So those are the kind of things that are going to go into the ranking that I'm doing right now. Again, I don't want to take too much time kind of explaining myself, but at the same time, I do want to make sure I'm clear about how this ranking is going to go. Also, kind of the way that I did it, because again, this was not easy, man. This was not an easy thing to do. I feel really heartbroken about a lot of these figures, but it came to a point where I just decided to pick the ones that I thought would, at least deserve some type of consideration. And to me, it came down to around 20 to 25 figures. And then at that point, I just kind of started splitting hairs, and I came down to 14 figures, and 4 of them are going to be part of my honorable mentions, and then of course the top 10. So some figures that are not even in the honorable mention that I think deserve an honorable mention. So I would say figures like Wanda. I think Wanda was a really good figure from the Multiverse of Madness, but the fact that Wanda doesn't have rotating eyes, also the display piece in itself wasn't as great as I would have wanted it to be. Thor himself as well, he was a really good figure with the silicon arms, but also the color of the suit and the fact that Thor doesn't have any rotating eyeballs really made me kind of say that he didn't deserve to be fully on the list. So just kind of an FYI of some figures that I really thought about. The Kenobi figures were definitely ones that I consider. The Wolverines, both from Hono Studios, the regular suit, the regular comic suit, as well as the brown suit. Those are figures that are not on the list that I really wanted to include. Also, the Tony Stark Mark 7 suit up, that figure, I liked that a lot, and I have him on the collection. The Mark 80 from Avengers Campus, Iron Patriot, Darth Revan. So many figures that I wish I could have included, but unfortunately, I came to a point where I just started splitting hairs. So very torn about it. But again, this is the point of the ranking, that we just have to include 10, right? Or in this case 14, right, with the honorable mentions. And so let's go ahead and get started. So again, as I mentioned before, we'll do honorable mentions. So I only wanted to do 3 honorable mentions. I didn't want to include too many kind of characters or figures on this list, but man, it was tough to leave one of these guys out. First, to me, and some of y'all might be shocked, but Jane Foster / Mighty Thor, I love that figure a lot. The silicon arms, the head sculpt for Natalie Portman was phenomenal. Her helmet, the fact that we get the broken helmet and the regular helmet look, the suit itself was amazing. To me, the color scheme of her suit is much better than Thor's. The cape was great, and also she has rotating eyeballs, and this pose specifically was very iconic. So it was a figure that I really enjoyed a lot, and that I did not find many flaws on it. So to me, it's a figure that deserves at least an honorable mention. Groot himself was another figure that was amazing as well, that I do have in the collection. For me personally, what it was is the weathering on the actual figure itself, the 3 head sculpts, all of the accessories, and the different poses that we get with the guy. So to me, as a collector, something that I look for is having options. That's why I'm really not going to have any Star Wars figures here, because Star Wars lacks display bases, accessories, things like that, head sculpts. I feel like we get too many basic figures with them. So because of that, it's going to be hard for me to include a figure in this list. But just know that Groot, because of all of the accessories and the head sculpts, it's such an amazing figure to me that it deserves to be at least an honorable mention. And then Peter Parker's black suit, I really thought I was going to have him in the top 10. The figure was great. Let me be clear, he's one of the best Spider-Man I have ever collected. The reason I did not put him there is because I do have a Spider-Man on the list, and I just think that that Spider-Man that I'm going to have on the list is a better figure than this one. Also, we don't get a lot of options for the lenses. I thought it lacked some symbiote accessories. Like, for example, we just got the anti-venom suit that has so many accessories as far as like, weapons and, and things like that. And I feel like this figure lacked it. But the material of the suit was phenomenal. Still, the figure is great. Let me be clear about that. But I think it just lacked a couple of accessories, and that's why I couldn't put him in the actual top 10. And then last but not least, Mark II, the Mark II 2.0, which I do not understand why I have not gotten this figure yet, but just going based on images and other collectors grabbing him on. The figure has so many pieces. The material looks great. The fact that it's die cast, the shininess of the silver coloring is amazing as well. Tony's head sculpt is a really good one. So a great figure. I would just say the reason probably why we didn't include him, I didn't include him in the top 10, is just probably because Mark II isn't the greatest Iron Man suit, I would say. There's something for me about the red and gold coloring that is just amazing to me about the Iron Man suit. So I think the silver coloring isn't the greatest color in my personal opinion, so that's why I could not include him on the top 10. So this would be the honorable mentions. Feel free, as always, to disagree with me and let me know what you guys think about my honorable mentions and which one most likely deserve to be in the top 10. So let's go ahead and get to number 10. So number 10 is a guy that was just announced to be released a couple of days ago, and it is part of my latest latest video that I did to kind of preview those releases. There were 4 releases, and this guy was one of them. So I do want to be clear. Feel free to tell me if I'm not qualified to talk about this guy yet, because I haven't seen him in person. The reasoning as to why he's on the list is, number one, you get a figure that's 17 to 18 inches tall, you have to automatically be on the list. The fact that we're going to get such a massive figure alone lets me know that he deserves to be on the list. Obviously, look, we'll have to get the figure in person to really go over materials and accessories and things like that, but just based on the looks, just look at that third image right here and how freaking scary and creepy that looks with Venom. It's just such an amazing look. Also, I would say the glossy kind of paint application that it has throughout the whole body is amazing. His spider logo in the front, everything looks great about the figure. And again, I will say this, and I'll be honest, if this figure was the regular Tom Hardy Venom size, I don't think he would have made the list. But we're getting 18 to 19 inches of a figure. Like, I still haven't wrapped my mind how big this guy is going to be until I get it in person. So that alone to me lets me know that this guy has to be on the list. He was one of my top 10 figures to look out for the year, and to me, no question, he's got to be on top 10. I was very happy with the final product, and I'm sure I'll be even happier once I get the figure in person. So to me, number 10, Venom from the Spider-Man PS5 video game. Number 9, Vader. I had the audacity, to use a bigger word, the dumb idea of not including this guy even in my honorable mentions for figures to look out for this year. The guy is one of my favorite comic book, movie, TV series character of all time, and there were 2 Vaders released this year. It was this one and the Return of the Jedi for the 40th year anniversary figure. And I said it during the unboxing of that figure that to me, this Vader from the Kenobi series was a better figure. That half Anakin, half Vader helmet is perfection. The skin texture of Anakin is great. The rotating eyeball is phenomenal. The 2 display bases, phenomenal. The accessories, everything about this Vader is phenomenal. And there's no question to me that he deserves to be on the list. As far as reasoning why he couldn't be higher, I would say probably because the suit is still pleather. Once we get a nylon suit Vader, oh, trust me, he'll be in the top 5 depending on what year we ever get that, if we ever do get that. But to me, the figure was absolutely amazing, and I loved everything about him. He is doing phenomenal in the collection, and I really just liked everything about him. All the helmeted looks and the battle damage accessories and things like that. The cape was great as well. So to me, Vader deserves to be on this list, and I have him at number 9. At number 8, so I'm gonna sound a little bit hypocritical here because I just did a figure release preview on this guy, and it's also a figure that I haven't gotten in person yet. A lot of you guys have not gotten this figure in person yet, but he has been officially released, and it's Bruce Wayne with the Batman armory from The Dark Knight Rises. So again, I did a video a couple of weeks ago criticizing this guy a lot because of the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. I thought that it was not a good head sculpt at all. A lot of you guys have contradicted me on that, which I'm totally fine with, by the way. I love when you guys give your opinions and let me know what you guys think and feel about a specific figure. And if you guys like to disagree with me, I am totally fine with that. That's what these videos are made for. But I will say this, you guys have kind of changed my mind on the head sculpt. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I think I've started to learn that sometimes the blogger images by Hot Toys don't really show the figure in its best. They sometimes use too much lighting and too much lining, and it makes the skin texture look worse than what it actually is. And to me, I want to be clear, I didn't criticize the actual whole setup of the figure. My only critique was the head sculpt and the fact that it wasn't that great. But I mean, you look at the whole setup itself. We get 2 figures because it's Bruce and the Batman, and all of the accessories that come with the whole setup. To me, it looks absolutely awesome, and it is a great setup to have in the collection. I have no idea how I'm gonna set it up yet, but either way, it'll look fantastic. So to me, this guy deserves to be on the list just because of how cool the whole setup looks. And again, you guys have convinced me that the head sculpt isn't as bad. I don't think it's still great, but it's still, I would say, a okay head sculpt. I would say a good one. Let's just say a little bit above average. And the whole figure itself looks great. The Batman looks phenomenal, and all of the accessories that it includes with this whole Batman armory. He has to be number 8. The only reason I don't have him higher is, again, the head sculpt. It's not a perfect one. It could have been better, but again, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Whenever I did the video previously, you guys have convinced me that it isn't that bad. So Bruce Wayne with the Batman armory at number 8. Number 7, so this one's a controversial one. I said that I had a Spider-Man in this list, and this is it. To me, this is the best Spider-Man figure we have ever gotten from Hot Toys. Not the coolest one. I think the black suit one might be just cooler because of the look of it. But whenever I unbox this guy here on my YouTube channel, I just felt something different about him. The body proportions are better, the articulations are great. Both of his head sculpts, whether it's the masked one or the Tom Holland one, are perfect. This is one of those figures where you wish you had 2 Spider-Man so that you can post both head sculpts. And just the color schemes of the suit is just phenomenal. The display base is one of the best ones that I have ever seen. It looked great, and it gave me personally a lot of options to post the guy. Accessories, it does lack it. That's probably why I couldn't put him higher. But the Tom Holland's head sculpt is the best Spider-Man head sculpt I have ever seen for now, and it is one of the best ones that I've ever seen Hot Toys release. And again, just the whole figure in its own is perfect. The way that the neck connects to the actual figure, it makes it seem like there is no seam line. So all of those things to me are reasons why I have him on the list. Again, as I mentioned before, might not be the coolest looking figure, but it is for sure to me the best one that has been released by Hot Toys for Spider-Man. So to me, I have Tom Holland Spider-Man at number 7. Number 6, I just did this guy is Bane. This one might be another controversial one, but whenever I did the unboxing of the figure, I said that this was the best figure I have ever collected and one of my favorites, and I still stand by that. He is one of the best figures I have ever collected. As I mentioned before, something that I like about collecting is getting options to pose, and we definitely get plenty with this guy. He has three different looks, which is the with his silicone arms, his leather jacket, and the jacket that he has on the left. All looks are iconic. The silicone on his whole body is perfect. The head sculpt is great with rotating eyes. The whole outfit, the body proportions, the guy is big, muscular, has presence to him. The accessories that it comes with are not that many, but still in all, the display piece is also a really good one. So a lot of things made me want to put this guy on the list. He is just that great. My only, I guess, complaint would probably be that we still get that ugly seam line in between his wrists. So those are the things that can always be an improvement, but the guy was just fantastic. And to me, the silicone body is the best one that I've seen up to date. It had a lot of scars, a lot of skin texture. So to me, this guy had to be on the list, and I have Mr. Bane at number 6. Number 5, another controversial one. This guy, I also have him on the collection, and the only reason he's not higher is because of Tony Stark's head sculpt, which I did not think was that great. It was a good head sculpt, but it could have been better. I think the facial expression was a little bit weird, and I think that the skin texture made him look older than what he actually is. So it's the Mark 6 suit up from Avengers. And to me, the reason why I put him there is the whole setup. I have the whole setup in my collection on top of one of my display cabinets, and it's the coolest thing ever. All of the options, also with all of the accessories that come with it. To me, it was either this guy or the Tony Stark suit up version for Mark 7, and to me, this one right here, the Mark 6, is miles ahead better. Again, just all of the accessories, the lining of the display base, and the whole setup is just such a cool thing to see. And it's one of those display bases that you have to find a way to have space in your collection so that you can display the whole thing. It's such a cool setup, and just everything that comes with it. Also the fact that it's die cast, it looks amazing. I love this figure so much. Again, my only thing that I don't like about it is the head sculpt, but that's fixable because you can just include the helmet on your display, which is the way that I have it. So feel free to disagree with me as always, but I think this guy deserves to be on the list, and I have him at number 5. I just really liked him a lot. He was a really, really good figure. At number 4, I have Mr. Kal-El himself from the Batman vs Superman movie. So obviously, I wasn't gonna include in-art figures just to not include them on the list. If I was gonna include them, was because they were gonna have consideration for the top 10, and this guy, no question, has to be on there. He is the my latest unboxing from for my channel, and as I mentioned through that video as well, this is the best figure I have ever collected. My favorite one as well. He is just perfect. Basically everything about him, the shininess of the suit, the body proportions, the cape, both of the head sculpts are great, although I don't think that the final product was as great as the prototype. I thought that the prototype, the head sculpts were, I would say, 10 out of 10. The final product was probably 9 out of 10, so they're still great, but not as great as the prototype. But just all of the accessories and I guess everything about the figures just so cool. Yes, I might be in the moment, but still, I think that to me, the guy was so great. The material of the suit as well. I did not find anything to complain about with the guy, and I've seen a lot of people like this figure a lot. So to me, it had to be on the list. InArt is such a great company to collect from. My only problem with them is they just don't really release enough figures to compete with Hot Toys. But to me, this figure was phenomenal, so he has to be included in the top 10, and I have him at number 4. Number 3, another one that has to be on the list without question, that's Deadpool from his own movie, Deadpool and Wolverine. For next year, I expect Wolverine, though the guy that's being released for that movie, to be on the list as well for next year, because I think that figure is going to be really cool as well. But to me, Deadpool has to be on this list. Number 1, look, even though there might not be too many things to him as far as like the head sculpt or skin texture or things like that, because it's just a whole suit on its own. I thought that the material of the suit is great. The coloring is phenomenal, and the fact that we technically get 4 Deadpools in one. So we get regular Deadpool, Baby Pool, dog pull, and head pull. And then also all of his weapons and accessories that come with it. The body proportions and the articulations were great as well. And I'll be honest, the hype around the figure in the movie is also something that makes me include him. I think that Deadpool and Wolverine was probably the most hyped movie for the whole year. Some people didn't like it that much. Me personally, I liked it a lot. I liked the cameos, and the figure was funny as always, and I really liked it. And I liked the fact that it's connecting us to something deeper, which is obviously the multiverse with all these Fox characters coming into the MCU. So to me, yes, I'll admit it, the hype around Deadpool this year made me include him on the list, but at the same time, it's not like we're doing a bad figure. The hype around him is very valid. The figure is phenomenal, and also because this is, I think, the first time, and please correct me if I'm wrong, still being a new collector, but I think this is the first time that we get a figure from a big movie that we get released right away. As you guys know, sometimes we'll get a figure and we have to wait a year and a half up to 2 years to get the figure. Not with this guy. This guy was ready, I think, a month or 2 months, after the movie came out. So that also makes me want to include him on the list. So Deadpool at number 3. Okay, at number 2, I'm shocking you guys with this one. I have the Batman figure from by InArt, played also by Robert Pattinson. So I can already feel you guys disagree with me on this one, but and by the way, this is a figure I don't even have in the collection. How about that? But basically, so I have the Batman by Hot Toys, and obviously he wasn't part of this list because he was released last year, even though I got him this year. But I think that there's no question that the well, actually, you know what? No. Let me take that back. It's a close call, but I do think that the InArt Batman is just a little bit better than the Hot Toys one, especially the head sculpt for Bruce Wayne / Robert Pattinson. The skin texture is much lighter, so I feel like it matches Robert, and also the fact that we get the rooted version and the rotating eyes. The whole figure itself looks great. I heard a lot of people thought that the head sculpt was a little bit too big for the figure. I don't see it based on these images, but at the same time, these are images by InArt, and sometimes people in person might see a little bit something a little bit different. And by the way, as I mentioned previously, if you guys don't think I'm qualified enough to talk about this figure because I don't have him in the collection, you guys have every right to feel that way. It's just that to me, just going based on images and other collectors poses and things like that, it's just I could tell how great this figure is. Also, the bat signal was better for this guy to me than for Hot Toys, so those things is what made me put this guy at number 2. And again, just so many accessories and so many options to pose him. I think he has to be on the list, and yeah, I have him this high. He's number 2. He's that great to me, especially that head sculpt. I cannot get enough of that Robert Pattinson head sculpt. It was just that great to me. Okay, finally, number 1. I cannot believe I have this guy at number 1. I did not expect him to have him at number 1. And another guy that I don't have in the collection. By the way, I did get an email from Sideshow a couple days ago that he's on its way, so I should get him in my collection in about a week or 2. And as soon as we get him, we'll definitely unbox him here on my YouTube channel. But oh yeah, this guy's number 1. And the reason I have to say he's number 1 is because number 1, I have the Imposter Batman, which it will say really random figure that Hot Toys release, and it's not the same head sculpt, but it's very similar, and I feel so in love with that head sculpt for that Imposter Joker that I already know what's coming with this guy. And again, look at the suit; it's so nicely tailored. All of the accessories, the display base, the iconic status of this figure. We all love Heath Ledger's Joker, and after the disappointment of Joker 2 that we just had this year, I think we can all concede that Heath Ledger is the Joker. May he rest in peace, but he is the most iconic, best Joker we have ever seen and gotten, but from anywhere from DC. So I'll admit it again, the status of the guy as far as how legendary he is made me put him this high. Again, who doesn't love the Joker? And again, to me, the head sculpt, the fact that we got both, sculpted and rooted hair is what makes it even better, because everybody, I feel like, is happy with what they've gotten, because everybody got what they wanted to get. It wasn't one of those things where we had to, either stick to the sculpted version or the rooted hair. We got both options. And again, I just think that the whole suit is nicely tailored, and we get the opportunity to take off his jacket and things like that. So a lot of things are great with this guy. He just has so many accessories, and he just looks so cool. By far the best 1/6 scale Joker that I have ever seen by any companies. I thought that the NR one was pretty good, but not this great for like Hot Toys did with this one. So yeah, to me, Joker is number one, the best figure to me of the whole year 2024. And it's close, trust me, it's close. I went back and forth a lot, and this was not an easy list. I felt like I left people out, and I always hate doing this because, again, always somebody's gonna get left out. But again, that's the point of these lists, that somebody's always gonna get left out. So sadly, we have to kind of resort to this. So this is gonna be it for this video, guys. I want to thank you as always for supporting, and the fact that this is the end of the year, I just want to thank you guys for supporting me throughout this whole year. You guys have been so supportive. I want to thank each and every one of you who has either watched the video of mine, commented, liked, subscribed, everything. You guys have meant a lot to me, and I appreciate all of the support. I am hoping that this year 2025 is a better one for the collection and for the channel, and I will try my best to provide better content for the whole channel. So I want to thank you guys a lot for, again, supporting. For this video specifically, please comment below your opinion about this video. Feel free to disagree with me, because I know a lot of you guys will, and that's part of this video. Again, it's opinion based, so everybody's gonna have their own opinion. As I always like to say, I just ask that you guys are nice about it. Again, it's okay to have a difference of opinion. So again, just let me know in the comments what you guys think about my list. Let me know names that I left off, and tell me somebody who doesn't even deserve to be on this list. And also tell me which are figures that you think will be on the list next year, as I do plan to do one. Coming up on my channel tomorrow, guys, to finish off the year, Collection Tour 3.0. Please tune in, as I will be doing my third episode of the collection tour to end the year on New Year's Eve. So make sure to tune in, as I will be showing my full collection to end the year. And then to start of the year, we'll do the top 10 figures to look out for in 2025. And I will make sure to include in-art figures, as there are some that I do definitely want to include on the list. Remember that these lists are always Marvel, DC, and Star Wars based, since that's what I collect. So just know that some other franchises won't be on there, just if you guys were wondering. So again, guys, please let me know in the comments what you guys think about this list, and which figure I could have included, or which figure shouldn't be included. As I mentioned before, I want to thank you guys for always supporting, and remember to comment, like, subscribe, join, and also turn on your notifications, so that way you guys are ready every time that I do post a video. A reminder that I am on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure to follow me there for more updates on my channel, and to see posts of my figures on a daily basis. Thank you so much again, guys, for tuning in to this top 10 figure video of Hot Toys in 2024, and I will see you next time.